So my favorite combo for this is a combination of aloe vera, turmeric, and eating fish, or any type of shellfish that has omega-3 fatty acids. It's my favorite. Any issues with the sinus is always going to be a gut-related issue, so it stems from fixing your gut, and then everything else will take its course, because the sinus is actually part of your jaw clenching is going to be due to internal stressors, a zinc deficiency, hydration or dehydration, I should say, and also some type of parasitic infection. Adrenal fatigue is a little bit of a misnomer. It's actually an HPA axis dysfunction. So you got to address the stressors first, and then using stuff like adaptogens helps, but it's not going to correct it. You got to get to the root cause of it. So first you got to start with priming the digestive tract. So betaine HCl is going to be a great way. You also got to supplement with zinc, and then you got to work on what's called the carbonic anhydrase system, which helps improve stomach acid production. I'm not a fan per se. I've seen more negative than positive come out of this, but that's just my opinion and what I've seen clinically. Prebiotics is a great idea. I prefer you getting it from your diet. So eating a diet that's rich in prebiotics or fiber. Jerusalem artichoke is a really good one. Inulin's another great prebiotic. So for costochondritis, you got to get it adjusted properly using low-level light therapy along with PEMF and some dietary changes. You're going to get winning results. This is always a sign of estrogen dominance, where the liver's not being able to clear out the excess estrogen. So you got to start working on the liver, and then estrogen levels will start to normalize, progesterone levels will start to increase. The biggest contributors are stress and your diet, which is affecting your gut, causing leaky gut. Ultimately, that's the cause of it, but it's stress and your diet. Typically something that has a lot of lectins, like gluten. Yes, so that you don't get excess amounts of pesticide, but as far as nutritional things, the jury's still out on that. I haven't seen an improvement in nutritional value, but pesticides, yeah, you don't want extra. If done by an inexperienced chiropractor, absolutely. But if you get adjusted by somebody who knows what they're doing, best thing ever. This all depends upon your state of health. If you are going through a chronic issue, you need more frequent meals to balance out your blood sugar because your body can't keep up. If you are in a great state of health, I recommend going longer in between meals and lowering the amount of caloric intake. Minimum 30 minutes a day. So if you can get 30 minutes a day, and that suffices. Bioresonance therapy is awesome. It's more of a subtle energy thing. I like to use it along with a clinical picture and correlate that with any labs, but it's amazing stuff. Avoidance is usually the best form of therapy. Next best thing if you're looking for stuff, there's stuff like quercetin and stinging nettle leaf. There's also stuff with standard process. Yeah, this was me totally. 2011, 2012, I went through that myself. First thing is learning how to manage your anxiety and learning how to cut that off. And then the second part is to balance out your neurotransmitters. You typically are going to be low in GABA, so stuff with GABA will help you to calm your brain down. As of right now, no, I'm not in the office. I do have plans, but I'm probably not going to do it at the scale that I did in California. Everything that I'm doing now is all online. Number one way is to get adjusted. Number two way is to use what's called tack flossing. You can look that up on YouTube. Look up Kelly Starrett. He wrote the book called A Supple Leopard, and tack flossing is something that I do every single day. No, I don't believe all diseases are curable. It depends upon the state of severity, how long it's been going on, and how well your body can bounce back, like your constitution. So it all depends on those factors, but can you? Yes. Anytime I hear that you get up with pain, I'm always thinking that you either have a bed problem, which is pretty obvious, but the second thing I'm always thinking is a lymphatic stagnant. So your lymphatic system could go through a state of stagnancy, and you just need to move. Personally, I love CBD oil. But the problem is you got to find clean ones. You got to make sure that it has the right amount in it and that you're getting it from a reputable source. And like I said, if you guys need a reputable source, let me know. I got some, it's on my website. No, I don't believe all diseases are curable. It depends upon the state of severity, how long it's been going on, and how well your body can bounce back, like your constitution. So it all depends on those factors, but can you? Yes. The electric blanket is awesome, but if you don't have a EMF meter, go out and get one so that you can measure the EMFs that are coming off of it. If it's high, get out of it. There's a bunch of good docs in the East Coast that are trained like I am. Look for one that was trained and certified in applied kinesiology, 100-hour certification. Look for TBM, NET, and just do your research. Two things I'm always looking for with hair loss. We're always looking for a gallbladder. So there's gallbladder issues and digesting of fats. And then there's also a thyroid component there. So digestion of fats, thyroid, usually iodine and selenium. Libido or low sex drive, typically when I look at lab tests, we find low levels of B vitamins. So a B complex actually will work really well, along with some of the adaptogens like maca. I'm not a big fan of supplementation for kids. I'd rather see kids get outdoors, play a lot, eat well, because they can extract a lot of nutrition from the foods that they're eating. But getting outdoors is really... Plants actually don't want to be eaten, so they contain different things that protect themselves. It's their own protective mechanism. You may have read, there's a book out talking about lectins and all of that stuff. That's why gluten is such an issue. So steaming your vegetables and using stuff like a pressure cooker helps break down a lot of that plant tissue that you can't digest, and also using digestive enzymes that contain cellulase so that you can digest cellulose. My favorite probiotic comes from, surprise, surprise, fermented foods. But as far as a supplement in probiotics, I like to use Ganadin BC30, which is a spore form of a probiotic instead of, lactobacillus and bacillus coagulant. Burping a lot leads me to think that you either have low levels of hydrochloric acid or you have a gallbladder issue, one of those two. Bags under your eyes, dark circles under your eyes is highly indicative of a colon issue. So you got to be looking at your colon and improving colon function. Sometimes it could be too alkaline. Vital Proteins, okay. I've used them in the past, but like I said, my favorite collagen that I like to use infused with bone broth is by Yonder Bars. So check out Yonder Bars, go get their bars. Stress reduction is going to be one of the best things. Also looking at liver function, like I mentioned before, so that you can break down the excess estrogen so that you're not in such an estrogen dominant state. Oil pulling, and sometimes you can use vanilla extract, helps with that, but those are my two favorite ones to use. Like I said before, I highly recommend you eating fermented foods if that's not a thing that you want to do. Yeah, taking a probiotic is okay. The difference between a probiotic and a digestive enzyme is one is a bacteria and the other one is an enzyme that breaks down your foods. You need both. I'm not a fan of flu shots just because I've seen too many issues. I've had too many patients get it and end up with the flu for extensive periods of time, so I'm not a big fan. I personally take ACV every single morning. Bee pollen's another really good one. Local honey, or honey from local bees is awesome for your immune system as well. Very, very possible. I see it every day. First thing they got to know how to do is adjust. Chiropractor doesn't know how to adjust, walk out the door. Second part is they got to know where to adjust. Third part is they got to know when not to adjust. Those are my three things. Funny you asked this. I just talked about this in my latest podcast I released today. One of the findings that they've found is that a deficiency in manganese can be the underlying cause for scoliosis, along with kidney issues, by the way. Neurofeedback therapy is one of the best things for adult ADD. And then also looking at the neurotransmitters, and you got to figure out where the neurotransmitters are out of balance, and then you got to create a game plan to treat that. That's what I do. This is another huge controversial issue, like vaccinations. But fluoride has been shown to it does strengthen the teeth enamel, but it also weakens it at the same time. So alongside of the other negative health effects, it's bad. Contrary to what a lot of the ketosis gurus out there say, I actually like glucose monitoring better than ketone strips, just because, ketones are actually there to be utilized. So if it's in the blood. Soy makes a great feed for livestock. Other than that, it's a moneymaker for Monsanto. Don't eat it. If you get a good doc that can give you a seated anterior cervical adjustment, that's the best thing ever. Other than that, yeah, it's risky. My two favorite books, Power versus Force and Molecules of Emotion. I highly suggest doing an elimination diet for at least 2 to 4 weeks, and then adding stuff back on one at a time, seeing what you react. If you need help, message me. Varicose veins is a sign that you have a liver toxicity or inability for your liver to process things effectively. So you got to clear out the liver, and then varicose veins will start to go away. The reason is that the portal vein, where the blood is flowing back into the liver, is actually congested, so the blood then pulls back down into the legs. That's what causes varicose veins. Thanks for coming along with me on my walk today, and hopefully I answered your questions. If you guys got any more questions, hit me up. Aloha.